Welcome back to another episode of the Girlfriend's Girlfriend podcast. I'm your host, Rashonda, and today we're diving into a topic that I know so many of us have fallen for at some point in our lives. Love. Love. Yes. Now, I know we're fresh off the heels of Valentine's Day. I hope my good girlfriends had an amazing Galentine's or Valentine's, whether you celebrated solo, with your boo, or with your besties. Either way, I hope you felt loved, because here's the thing. Love shouldn't just be a holiday. It's a daily thing. But somehow we get so wrapped up in the fantasy of it all. You remember that old nursery rhyme? Tawana and Martin sitting in a tree. Kissing. First comes love, then comes marriage, then comes baby in a baby carriage. Girl, woo. That little rhyme has left many folks heartbroken, okay? Because let's be real. Kissing doesn't always lead to wedded bliss, and happily ever afters aren't always guaranteed. The fantasy is cute, but the reality, it can be a little messy. So today we're stepping out of the movies and into real life. Let's talk about love. Not the fairy tale version, but the kind that actually fulfills you. And sis, we're starting with the most important love of all, self-love. That's right. Whether you're single, married, or it's complicated, loving yourself should always be at the top of your list. So stay tuned, because we're about to break free from the fairy tale and get to the real stuff. Be back.
It's your go-to place for guidance. Step inside, see how good the vibe is. It's a girl talk and you're all invited, 'cause every girl needs a girlfriend.
Welcome to the Girlfriend's Girlfriend podcast. I'm Rashonda, your host and good girlfriend, here to give it to you straight. If you need a boost or a quick pick-me-up, this show's got you, with wisdom, warmth, and a bit of humor. We'll talk about all sorts of relationships, including the ones with ourselves, friends, and life's ups and downs. Think of it as your monthly girl time. Quick note and disclaimer, I'm not a licensed therapist nor a counselor, just a coach offering support with a fresh perspective. Now, let's chat, girlfriend.
Every girl needs a girlfriend.
Today's topic is breaking free from the fairy tale, love beyond the silver screen. All right, let's dive in, y'all. I must admit, when it came to love, I wasn't really taught what it was supposed to look like or where it should come from. Growing up, the message was simple. A boy meets a girl, they fall in love, and boom, that's it. I wasn't one of those girls with a high school sweetheart, but let me tell you, I thought that kind of love was everything. If you had that, you had made it. Let's be real. When you don't see true love modeled around you, where do you turn? Movies, yes. I fell hard for those Hollywood love stories and those Christmas movies, okay? The ones where the man sweeps the woman off her feet, treats her like a queen, and they ride off into the sunset with a white picket fence and a perfect little life. I was convinced that was what love should look like. I was all in, fully believing that somewhere out there was my Idris Elba, or Morris Chestnut, hello, just waiting to play out my love story. And listen, I know I'm not alone, because when we watch these movies, we don't just fall for the actors, we fall for the characters they portray. The charm, the romance, the grand gestures. It gives us all the feels. But here's the truth, sis. They're acting. They're getting paid to play a role. And we're sitting here catching feelings for a script designed to make us feel something. Movies play on our emotions. They sell us dreams. While it's fun to fantasize, we must ask ourselves, are we chasing a Hollywood love story? Or are we ready to embrace something real? Because the truth is, love isn't always wrapped up in a neat little bow. And that's okay, right? It's all right. So We'll dig into that right after this quick break. Stay with me. Hey girlfriend, we'll get back to today's topic in just a moment. Consider this your quick break. Want to hear something old, something new, something borrowed, and something blue? Let's jump right in, and in no particular order, something blue. While we celebrate love and friendship, we also acknowledge those who are hurting. My heart goes out to the families affected by recent tragedies, including the Philadelphia Medvac plane crash that claimed 7 lives, the Black Hawk and American Airlines incidents in Washington, D.C. that claimed 67 lives, and the missing Cessna plane in Alaska carrying 10 people, in which was found with no survivors. Lately, it seems like there has been so much happening with air travel. Blue can symbolize sadness, but it can also stand for hope and resilience. This month, let's commit to spreading kindness and support. If you or someone you know is struggling with vicarious trauma, constantly absorbing the pain of world events, please take care of yourself. Seeing tragedy after tragedy can bring on intrusive thoughts, fear, and even physical symptoms. Pay attention to those around you. Seek help if needed. You are not alone, and my prayers are with you. Something old. What happened to TikTok? Listen, last month, millions were on edge as the long-rumored shutdown seemed more real than ever. On January 19, 2025, TikTok did indeed go offline, but within hours, it reappeared, reportedly thanks to the intervention from current officials. If you didn't delete the app, your profile is still intact. But for those who did, well, it's gone and it's no longer available for a download. I have to admit, I didn't rush to delete mine. With so much misinformation out there, it's hard to tell what's real. Turns out this one was true. My brother-in-law and niece deleted their apps immediately and now they can't get them back. But rumor has it there are ways around this, like changing your location settings. But for now, we'll have to wait and see what's next, because there's also another rumor that, TikTok really may be leaving for good. But as they say, time will tell. Something borrowed. Grace is the voice that calls us to change and then gives us the power to pull it off. I'll say that again. Grace is the voice that calls us to change and then gives us the power to pull it off. That's by Max Lucado. This month, I had to extend grace to someone, something I wasn't initially keen on doing. Do you give up on people easily? I'm not talking about yourself, but others. Sometimes we look at people and think there's no hope and just write them off, right? I wanted to do that to someone, but I prayed and asked God for the right words. And here's the hard truth. I don't like repeating myself. If you don't get it the second time, you're out, okay? It's lost. Bye-bye to you. I know. I need to show some grace, okay? But when the time came to talk to this person, instead of the dismissal I had planned, I found myself walking them through things step by step, maybe even more than others thought I should. But I wanted to give the kind of grace I'd want in return. So, girlfriend, give a little extra grace this month, okay? Because she has the power to help you to pull it off, all right? And something new. At the start of the year, I talked about investing more in our health. Well, I couldn't just talk about it. I had to do it. So last month, I ordered a collagen supplement from Hairfinity called Butonic. And it's a liquid collagen packet for your hair, skin, nails, and body. It's packed with so many benefits, including probiotics. Remember I talked about that? Normally it runs for $59.99, but I snagged it during a flash sale for, guess what? $15. Yes. And let me tell you, it works. I've had the best energy. I feel amazing. And I've been taking it since, January 29th. Plus, it's strawberry flavored and delicious. So, if you're looking to take care of your body from the inside out, go check out Hairfinity on TikTok. No, I'm not sponsored or paid for this, so I'm giving you the real truth, okay? Try it out, girlfriend. We gotta come up. All right? So there you have it. That was your intermission. Now, let's get back into our segment. The reality check. Love isn't like the movies. Let's be honest. That Hollywood fantasy can screw your expectations of real life relationships. Movies often portray love as easy, showing no arguments, no misunderstandings, just romance, passion, and a perfectly timed kiss in the rain. However, here's what they don't show you: the effort required to build a healthy relationship, the tough conversations that don't fit into a neat 90-minute script, the real life challenges that don't magically vanish after a big romantic gesture. If love were as effortless as the movie suggests, everyone would be successful at it. The reality is that true love requires effort. It's not just about finding someone, it's about choosing them, growing together, and committing to making the relationship last. Are you chasing a fairy tale? Or are you ready to embrace a love that's raw, real, and uniquely yours? So I'm going to give a couple of tips on defining love on your own terms, okay? Actionable tips that you can actually put into practice right now. Tip number 1. Do you want love? Okay. Do you want love? I can tell you where it is. Tonight or sometime today, I want you to go look in the nearest mirror. There it is staring back at you because it begins with you. It's cliche, but it's true. You must love you before you love or can receive love from someone else. Ask yourself, how do I treat me? How do I treat myself? Is it with respect and care? If not, then you have some work to do, sis. If you aren't trying to love you or ain't got time for you, no one else will, including a partner. Tip number 2, when it comes to reality love, you must separate physical attraction or starstruck feelings from long-term compatibility. Identify what truly fulfills your needs in a relationship. Is it respect? Is it trust? Is it shared values? And remember, that's an actor on the screen, a character that a scriptwriter made up from their own imagination. Tip number 3, practice gratitude for the love you already have in your life, which is your family, your friends, and self-love, okay? It's easy to be selfish when it comes to love and what it really is. Most of the times we look inward and are so focused on that feat until we forget about the love that surrounds us every day from our kids, our parents, our friends, cousins, siblings, and so forth. Even our co-workers. It's true that love can be blinding, and that's not just the ignorance of things it tries to show us. When we're with someone and they're displaying all types of red flags that we refuse to see, okay? Love also can be blinding to the effect of you not seeing the ones around you who really do love and care for you. So if your eyes have been focused on, but what about me? Shift that focus and allow yourself to look around and see the people that really is all about you. Tip number 4, set realistic expectations. Love isn't always exciting or glamorous, but it's meaningful and grows with effort. I remember when I got married at the age of 24, I expected the marriage to be easy. I expected it to be just like I had seen on TV. But the lie detector test determined that was a flat out lie. It wasn't glamorous, and he didn't smile or act like the men portrayed on screen. As a matter of fact, some days were downright ugly. Love, as beautiful as it is, contains flaws and all. But if you're willing to stick with it through the ups, downs, good and bad, it'll be exactly the way it's supposed to be for you. Realistic and attainable. Tip number 5, be open to the idea that love might not look like you imagined, and that's okay. This goes along with tip number 4. Write down attainable goals of the love you want. Make sure, number 1 is the love you want to achieve with yourself, all right? But every other number, be real, yes. We would love a man that fixes us breakfast in bed every Saturday, or the man that sends us roses every day. And I know someone who did this or does this. But think about it. Is that your type of love? It might be. However, one thing to keep in mind, it takes 2 to love. And that person must be willing to put in the effort. Whether that's with roses or just being a listening ear for you when you're having a bad day, or helping to bring in the groceries when you've been out picking them up. Now, he may not help you put them up, but he helped you bring them in, right? It's being able to open our eyes and see love in the smallest places, and not just focusing on the big screen, which is elaborate, but again, not a reality. Big screen aside, what type of realistic and attainable love are you looking for? Girlfriends, begin to write your visions for real love and make it plain, because it starts with you. Love, like life, isn't about perfection, but about progress and connection, in which that first connection starts and begins with ourselves. I've often said you can't give from a broken vessel. We must first cultivate and plant seeds of love for our own selves. As that love begins to grow, you'll see the silver screen a little differently, and will be able to differentiate between the fake and the reality. The greatest love stories aren't written by screenwriters. They're created by people who choose each other every single day. And that includes choosing you first. How can you expect someone else to do it and you haven't done the necessary work? Whatever your unique love journey will be, whether it's by way of the kissing nursery rhyme with someone special, or just you and your pup, or you alone, know that love comes in many forms and happens differently for everyone. Embrace love. You may have shoved it down or hid it away for something unrealistic, but I challenge you to go and find it. Sit with it and let it show you what it's all about. You may be surprised at what it reveals. And speaking of love, it's good to receive it, but it's even better to give it. I want to introduce you to She Did That, a new girlfriend segment here on the podcast. It'll be a part of the show where we celebrate the fierce, fabulous women who are out here making moves and leaving their mark. Whether it's your bestie, a coworker who's killing it at the office, a family member who inspires you daily, or even someone new who's left you in awe, this is your chance to give them their flowers. Each month, I'll share your submissions and shine a spotlight on these amazing ladies who deserve all the applause. If there's someone you like to celebrate, send me their story at inspirationswithroshonda@gmail.com. That's inspirationswithroshonda at gmail.com, and I'll feature them right here on the show. Because when she does that, we've got to let the world know. Of course, we can't end the show without going into a short prayer to tie everything together, so stay tuned. Father, thank you for being the ultimate example of love. Help us to see love clearly, not through fantasies, but through truth. Teach us to value real connection over perfection and to trust that the love you have for us will bring joy and peace. Amen. Next month's podcast episode is a special one for Podcast-thon, which is a worldwide charity event to bring awareness to causes that changes lives. The goal is to get as many podcast hosts to dedicate one episode to a charity of their choice, and that's exactly what we did. So tune in on Monday, March 17th. You can visit podcaston.org to find out more information and view other podcasters who have accepted the challenge. I hope you enjoyed today's episode, Love Beyond the Silver Screen. I appreciate you for listening and tuning in. Sis, if this episode spoke to you, don't keep it to yourself. Share it with a girlfriend who needs to hear it. We never know what people are going through, and let's keep the conversation going on social media or via email at inspirationswithroshonda@gmail.com. So until our next chat, as I always say, go on, girl. I've got this tab, and I'll see you at our next outing. Thanks for joining today's Girlfriend's Girlfriend podcast outing. I hope our chat brought you comfort and a new perspective. Listen, if you got a question, don't forget you can text the show or email me at inspirationswithroshonda@gmail.com, and it might be featured in an upcoming episode. Remember, every girl needs a friend, and I'm here for advice, a laugh, or just to listen. Stay connected by subscribing, and you'll never miss a new episode. Until our next chat, this girlfriend's out. Peace.